This time on the playlist, jaw-dropping tango, played by a brilliant musician. Lidia Kaminska takes classical music to a whole new level. Stay tuned for the playlist.
Funding for the playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund.
So what comes to mind when you hear an accordion? Polkas? Well, our music guest this week blows that stereotype right out of the water. She and her bandione deliver captivating classical music performances across the country. Please welcome Lidia Kaminska. It makes you want to dance. That is just beautiful. It's like,
thank you so much.
How does it feel to have no dancers around you? Can you just see it?
Well, I am used to it because music of Astor Piazzolla, it's usually performed in the concert hall. So this music, yes, it's not for dancing, not so much, but it still has the character of a traditional tango.
The romance is there. It's just
yes,
beautiful.
Yes.
Thank you so much for being here. And I know that I've totally mispronounced the name of your instrument. So will you pronounce it for me?
Bandoneon.
Bandoneon.
And you know, I'm Polish, so maybe I mispronounce, or maybe with Polish accent.
But tell me how it's played, or what, this is a unique instrument.
Yes, this is a quite unique instrument. It's a traditional Argentinian instrument, although this one was made in Italy. And the system is a little bit different from the Argentinian bandoneon. It's a chromatic accordion. And traditional instruments, it's quite complicated system. It's a different note on opening and closing. The same button, but when you open it's different note, when you close different. And there is no really system. The notes are spread out, they are all over. This one, it's quite, it's chromatic, so one note follows another one. So
will you show us the inside
yes.
of the bellows? Because
yes,
it is
that's
so
my favorite.
pretty.
That's my favorite part of the instrument. But of course, there are different bellows, and my accordion is black, but this one is beautiful red. So I love it. And of course, the bellows are a little wider than accordion. So it has beautiful, I think, shape also.
It's gorgeous. So how in the world does a woman come to play one of these?
Well, you never know. But I started, of course, on accordion. And then because of Astor Piazzolla and his music, I played some of the music on accordion, but then I wanted to play the instrument he played. So about 3 years ago, I went to Italy and I bought this instrument, and I've been playing about 3 years, I would say.
Well, welcome to Duluth.
Thank
we're
you so
also
much.
we're going to welcome Bill Bastian into our conversation, and we're talking about you're in town to play with the Duluth Superior Symphony Orchestra
this
this weekend.
Yes, I'm very excited.
It's quite a lineup of composers.
Yes, everything from the Blue Danube Waltz by Johann Strauss to the 3 tangos, orchestral tangos by Piazzolla, and the Berlioz Symphonie Fantastique. It's a wide collection of composers who, to a real extent, were not the mainstream classical sort of composers that you would consider, because both Piazzolla and Johann Strauss are writing dance music, and it really is. It has that feel, it has that flavor, and to a certain extent, real intense musicians saw that as cheap stuff, you know, not really the good stuff.
So do you feel like you're playing rebel music?
No.
No? Was Piazzolla a rebel in the world of tango?
Yes, actually he was. He was actually hated figure in his own country because tango was the last thing that people would change in Argentina. It's like you don't change a tango. And he incorporated many styles into his music just because of his classical training, also some influences of jazz music, and he also included some contemporary music, and he combined everything, those elements into his music, and he called it a new tango, tango nuevo.
Beautiful, and it's beautiful. Have you heard this before? You've heard this?
Only on YouTube, and so, but it's a very sweet sound, and it's very wonderful. And I think this is one of the things that's so exciting, is that when you start doing music that has more of a folk origin to it, it also invites that you bring in these other noises that you wouldn't normally hear in a strict symphonic setting. And which is also what's so cool about the Berlioz, is that Berlioz was very involved in orchestral noises and wanting to have these different sounds all happen. So it's way cool.
We are in for a treat because we get to hear one more tune from Lidia, and she will be here playing with the DSSO this weekend. Yes, so thank you very much, both of you. And Lidia, thank you for playing us one more song.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thanks. Lidia will be playing Saturday night in Duluth with the full Duluth Superior Symphony Orchestra behind her. Tickets are available through the DSSO's website. Also note the performance will be broadcast live right here on PBS North. So how do contemporary artists interpret family in a universe of shifting definitions? A current exhibit in the Tweed Museum at the University of Minnesota Duluth offers some insightful images to get the conversation started. Guest curator Patricia Briggs takes us on a guided tour.
I think contemporary art, its function is to create dialogue. Really, to have an internal dialogue or to literally have a dialogue with the person standing next to you. That's what they're for. My name's Patricia Briggs, and we are standing in the exhibition that I curated for the Tweed called You and Yours, Images of Family. I noticed that contemporary artists' ways of approaching that subject seemed so different from traditional artists' representation of the subject. I was interested in seeing how those two things looked together.
It's really fun to collaborate with other people. You know, put their eyes on the same set of objects that you're looking at and to be able to sort of, you know, just have a conversation around those things.
I found these strong fathers. Also, Abraham sacrificing his son Isaac, which is, of course, a father's sacrifice and a man's sacrifice for his religion or his family or his country. They do have a stunning Madonna and Child by Johann Ender. It's an image that we're so familiar with, that perfect image of motherhood and child, nurturing, beautiful image. I think that that's an interesting way to think about family, is to what extent did we grow up in families like this ideal?
And in terms of our reactions to family, I think artwork is a really good place to start that conversation.
Javier Tavera is a Mexican-American artist, and when I saw these works, I realized that they were unusual. Because they were, in a sense, the sort of father playing the role of the Madonna.
They challenge that notion of fathers as only being related to their occupation.
Amy DeJaneiro is a Minneapolis artist who is an amazing draftswoman.
I look at these drawings and they're very complex. There's a lot of layers of imagery. Some of it looks religious, some of it looks sort of Renaissance-like. Some of it looks sort of psychological. Some of it just looks decorative.
She's shown in the center, and above her is an image of her father.
You know, and so there's all of these layers working together, and it's fun, you know, to decode that and to absorb that.
Catherine Yüksel is kind of exploring childhood from the child's view. So what we see is boys out in nature, getting into trouble.
I don't think any one of them has a text that says, like, well, this is how I really feel about family, and, you know, 1, 2, 3 with bullet points. They're all very open-ended based on their own experience.
This piece is on the floor, and it is made completely out of found objects. This piece is about that kind of circulation of all of these objects that make up the daily life of a family and the mother's sort of, you know, responsibility to keep that in order.
If you think about static objects on display, what does it take to activate them? It takes you. That's it. That's all you have to do is look at them and think about them a little bit, and by golly, you've had a little conversation.
You and Yours, Images of Family will be up through January 2nd at the Tweed. The museum's website has more background and examples of some powerful videos that are also part of the show. And there's a link on our website too. Now, the artwork in our playlist gallery this week comes from a Duluth artist named Whitney Sauer. Her show, Corpses and Copses, runs through the scary month of October at the Washington Studio Galleries here in Duluth. Now, there are more arts opportunities listed on the playlist website, and to submit your ideas and to connect with the show, visit us at theplaylistonline.org. And now I'd like to introduce you to a passionate group of inspired community musicians. The Twin Ports Wind Orchestra attracts dozens of dedicated amateurs who present top-notch musical performances around town. They put rehearsal time and a lot of emotional energy into each concert.
These guys are fantastic musicians, all of them, and there's a spirit of togetherness and a sense that we're not competing, we're together as a group.
I love to be a part, I love to contribute, and the fifth part is as important as the first part.
I love Mark as a director. I think he's a phenomenal director.
Here we go, begin.
It's hard to just kind of pick your trumpet up when you're sitting in your house and just play for no reason. It's a little easier when there's a group you can join.
We have high school students that come and play to quite elderly people that play. And I think it just adds a place for accomplished musicians to come and get together and have some fun playing music and have some concerts during the year.
Well, I play the double B-flat contrabass clarinet, and I've been in the group since it was formed back in 1990. I think the only reason they keep inviting me back is I'm the only guy who knows how to put it together.
The band playing is marvelous in that it's such a wonderful distraction from the stress of life.
I'm an administrator at UMD.
I'm in the Recreational Sports Outdoor Program as the climbing director.
I was a teacher at Dunfeld High School for 16 years. I'm now at Central High School. I'm not a musician as far as a career goes, but this gives me the opportunity to continue to play.
Everybody in that bar 6.
The thing that I like is you practice about 5 times and have a concert 3 times a year. So it really does fit into a busy lifestyle.
For me, it allows me to continue to practice an art form, to practice music, which is something that I love to share with other people, and I know that it's such a vital part of all of our lives.
There you go.
My guests tonight are Mark Whitlock, the conductor of the Twin Ports Wind Ensemble Orchestra, and Dick Carlson, one of the founding members of the orchestra. Congratulations, guys, and thank you for coming in.
Thanks for the invitation. Yeah.
It looks like the love of music is the common denominator across the board.
Absolutely. Yeah, everybody just does this for the love, getting together, making great music with people that you really like. Yeah.
It's not a social club, though. I better ask Dick this. I mean, I don't think he just lets you get together and chit-chat.
Oh, no.
It's a serious...
No, he's dead serious about the music, as are the rest of us. So we all thoroughly enjoy it. And of course, Mark's such a great conductor. It's just it's a wonderful experience for all of us.
One of the impressive things for me is that you play at a level that most of us only dream about. I mean, you play music, and the music that you pick to play, it gives, I think, the community a different alternative in what's out there.
Yeah, I mean, the mission of this group is to take people who want to make a high level of music making and come together, work hard for something. And like you said, it's not a social club. The idea is that the reward we get is a job well done and a musical experience.
So how has it changed since you guys started all of this?
Well, it's become a much better group in the last 20 years or so that we've been since we've started it, and it seems like each year it gets a little bit better. You know, a section will improve here and there, and the overall musicianship improves. And again, Mark does such a great job of leading us that we're able to just play very difficult music, and we play it very well. So it's just really a great experience.
Okay, here might be a silly question. How does one apply, or do you try out, or how do you get to be a part of this?
Well, usually people will give me a call. I'll get an email. They'll say, we just came into town. We've heard about your group. We're at the point now where most our sections are filled up, but so I usually ask them what their background is. And if they've played through their high school career, I might have them come in and do an audition. If they've played at a college level, then I'll say, come on in, let's talk, and I think you could be a part of the group.
Okay, it sounds challenging. So how did you get involved? You have to play this before we're done. Will you tell me about this instrument?
Well, this is a euphonium. It's one of the beautiful brass instruments, the most beautiful brass instrument as far as I'm concerned. And it gets some great counter melody parts as well as melody parts in the band music. Marches are filled with glorious euphonium parts, counter melodies, and so forth.
I have to tease you a little bit because I'm going to tell you about when the concert is coming up, and Dick is one of the soloists in the concert coming up.
Correct.
And the concert is this coming Sunday at the Pilgrim Congregational Church here in Duluth. So thank you, gentlemen, for coming to tell us about it and filling us in on what the Wind Orchestra is all about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad you're part of Duluth.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, culture and identity collide in the work of photographer Young Huie. The current exhibit by the Duluth native explores the cultural melting pot of St. Paul's University Avenue. A crew from MN Original, a sister production of the playlist by Twin Cities Public Television, captured Wing at work.
Well, this is just west of, or east of 280. There's 250 photographs on the avenue right now along 6 miles from a block west of 280 where St. Paul starts to a block west of the state capitol. Midwest Hotel, they kicked me out of there. My name is Young Huie. I'm a photographer, and I've been photographing the cultural landscape in my home state, Minnesota, for the last 30 years. I've been told that Snelling Avenue and University Avenue is the busiest intersection in Minnesota. It's the epicenter of University Avenue. The University Avenue project, this will be a 6-mile exhibition of photographs that I've taken of the people that live, work, go to school, worship, and play in the neighborhoods connected by University Avenue. Growing up in Minnesota, people would ask me, where are you from? I would say, I'm from Duluth. People say, no, where are you really from? And I said, really, I'm from Duluth. It's an innocent question, but it implies a lot. It's assumed that I must be a foreigner. I think there are times where my family or myself, we felt that I wasn't a true American, wasn't a true Minnesotan, growing up in the land of Lake Wobegon. But the realities of what I am and how I'm perceived bumps into the perceptions of what Minnesotans are on a regular basis. So for hyphenated people like me, there are hundreds of thousands of people who bump into this, the myths of the state. So in a way, what I'm trying to do is create a new iconography, one that fills a gap between the perception of who we are and the reality. What I do is intuitive. I try not to think about it too much. When I'm photographing, I'm just reacting. And I don't think about whether this is good or bad or happy or sad. This is just life. I'm just trying to translate what I see into this language of photography. The meaning of a photograph, I think, is changes. I think photographs are organic. They change as the person looking at them changes. I think most people think of a photograph as a window, like this is your window into the world through this photographer's eyes. I think they're just as much, if not more, a mirror. because people only see what their life experiences enable them to see. People see only what they're capable of seeing. People see what they want to see. So I think this photography exhibition is a mirror. It's a mirror that shows University Avenue to itself and to the larger world. And it's up to whoever looks at it to decide what it is.
Hi, are you familiar with do you know what's going on here?
No, I'd like to know.
Yeah, well, this is a project that I worked on for 4 years in public art.
I think with all the changes that are happening on University Avenue, with light rail coming through, $1 billion coming through, no one really knows all the full impacts. And so this could be the last record of what University Avenue was like.
So we want this to be a social space.
Did you say every night?
For 6 months.
Consecutively?
Every single night for 6 months until the end of October.
No kidding.
We started on Saturday.
Have you had, you started already. Has anyone come here yet who's seen their own images projected on screen?
Oh yeah, we had about 600 people here on Saturday.
Oh wow, so maybe people was like, that's me, whatever.
Oh, a lot of people.
Wow.
A lot of people that are in the photographs,
so what did you do? So you had them, you gave them the chalkboard and you said, write. What did you tell them to write?
Well, I came up with a series of questions that I thought would not be easily answered. And so the questions are, what are you?
Really?
How do you think others see you?
Right.
What don't they see?
Right.
What advice would you give a stranger?
Cool.
What's your favorite word?
Okay.
Well, special thanks to Public Arts St. Paul for supporting the university project and sharing it with us. There's more information on their website. We'll leave you tonight with a final taste of tango. Lidia Kaminska performs this weekend with the DSSO, and we're really grateful that she came in early to share her music with us. Have a good weekend, everybody, and go out and support the arts.
Funding for the playlist is provided by the citizens of Minnesota through the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and by viewers like you.